Welcome in, everybody. Before we get into the intro and get into this actual technical analysis, just another reason why I appreciate each and every one of you, everybody who watched the live, and I apologize, my mouth is pretty swollen. From my tooth extraction from a broken ventricle, which is a fracture below the gum line underneath the roots, so it was pretty painful, yada yada yada. So I talked earlier and I made a pretty passionate plea to everybody about how I don't want you to get trapped, about how we would have to do all this work just to get back up, and we were more than likely could come down and retest the symmetrical triangle support before continuing on, even if we had any chance, which it didn't feel great earlier, and it feels less likely now that we could work up to 45 cents. We came right down to the symmetrical triangle support, and now it looks like we're putting in a fake J hook. And for anybody who's watched me for any length of time, the fake J hook is after a dump. We kind of have like a bear flag, and it works its way up with no volume. Oftentimes you get rejected at either 20-day or the 200-day in the 200-day time frame. In the 30-minute time frame. And now we're doing exactly that. We've come up to the 20-day, and now the 200-day is right around the 3863. There's absolutely no volume in relation to the sell volume. So we're going to see what happens here, if we can get a big candle spike to break out. But as of right now, this could be playing as that topping reversal we talked about on the head and shoulders. And it very well could be creating a right shoulder. If we want to get out of this negative bias, we need to first get above that 387 mark. Ultimately, if we stretch out the area, we're going to have to be around the 404 level now. Break out of here. And then ultimately continue to push up and break over the 428. In this area, it would likely be around we'll say the 426, and then ultimately hitting the bull flag at 45 cents. Man, almost an accident I got to see right out my front door. Unbelievable. Anyhow, so that's what we're looking at as the main area of significance. What happened today was a shit show. The Department of Justice came out, basically flexed their nuts, said this is all Russia's fault. They have $600 billion or $1 million that they've used cryptocurrency to basically get around enforcements and to launder money. When what they never said in the whole speech was how FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried took all of our money, anybody who was on the exchanges, and gave it to the Democrats, the politicians, and anybody who was running for office in this past election. They didn't bring any of that up. They just continued to talk about Russia, even though the U.S., if you want to be honest, indulged itself in the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of finance. And they used Sam Bankman-Fried. This is nothing but a government patsy. Look who his parents are. Look which university they teach at. And it'll all fall into place for you. This is nothing more than a shit show. And of course they would come out today with all bullshit when we have the debt ceiling crisis happening. The government loves optics. So now they've got you looking at crypto, but in reality you should be looking at the debt ceiling. You should be looking at how inflation is responding. And now we're going to see. We're going to see exactly how much manipulation we're going to see now. Because we'll see if they can force this up our throats and right back up to here and ultimately push out of this area and use this as one big liquidity pull. And then see if we can come up to this 45 cents, or if this turns out to be a fake J hook, as it's looking like right now. But you can never be too certain with the manipulated market. So I like to sit back. This is why I also told everybody, the futures trading, leverage trading is an easy way to get yourself liquidated. There was a time when I was trying to help everybody, but I found within myself, I had to look deep within to see that it is a casino-like atmosphere. And many, many others that might not be as advanced of traders, or don't understand the charts quite like I do, or like some other people, could get into very big trouble and end up losing their spot trading funds to buy their XRP or their favorite cryptos, and then end up being bankrupt. If for any other reason, you should subscribe and join Tom's Army, especially subscribe to my channel. As I tell you the truth, I don't do any paid promotion, no paid advertising, and I have no special interest. So no one's going to tell me what exchange to tell you to use. I only tell you what I use, what I trust. No one's going to tell me what coin to tell you to buy. I'm not going to tell you some bullshit spaz coin that pops up in 2 weeks so that I can make some commission. I'm going to tell you my ISO coins, and if you don't like it, too fucking bad. I'm different than the rest, so you should appreciate me most. I care about you, each and every one of you. I'm in a lot of pain today, but I did a 45-minute live to cover what was going on, and this is my second update today because I care, because it's vital. You know what's going to happen with XRP. The US dollar currency index is back at 102.39. Now we're going to see if it can make a way up on this bull flag. You can see this little bullish thesis here. If it can actually pull out of here and get up and see if we can contend with the 102.94. But an obvious rejection point, if we can't break out, which we could, would be to get rejected at 102.47, and this was all bullshit. Other than that, let's see if we can make a run at 102.94 and ultimately try to retest this area. You cannot get back to the even thinking bullish until you break back up above 103.65. And if we just overextend this out a little bit, you can clearly see how this is going to lapse over each other now. Crazy how this is at right now. See this? A lot of people don't do the overextension. I do. And it is what it is. Use the overextension of a pattern and it will always find you right. Now it's being acted as downtrending resistance. The downtrending support is meeting, and X marks the spot as suggesting 102.49 is a very key level. So we'll see how this plays out in the immediate short term. And obviously, first we have to get above these levels, 102.59 and ultimately 102.75. But 102.94 is the most important level. Get above that, and you can open up some leeway up to 103.637. The Dow Jones is completely reversed, down 400 points. Had an early gain of about 100 points this morning, and then boom. Now we have to see if this continues on. That's the 5-year, but that's not going to do anybody any good. The 1 day looks like trash. Gold and silver is under a bit of pressure with the dollar rising, which I told you, gold and silver is going to find some pressure here. I don't think they're just going to let it run unabated just yet. If they do, I'll be thrilled because I've got a lot of silver and gold, as you guys have watched me over the last 2.5 years, and I've been doing it for years before. About 5-6 years now. And I wanted to look a quick look at XLM, because XLM, much like XRP, is finding itself under some major pressure. It pulled its head as well. And if this continues and we can't break above in a very quick fashion, this newly formed bear flag, we more than likely will find our way back down to 7.3. But there is some hope. As long as we can hold this support here, and notice how it's working this perfectly in the descending triangle, we can continue once again to pull this across as we go. We've seen where we were at. It was a little bit higher than that. Because eventually it's going to fill through. So now we're filling this descending triangle out. We can't break above. We got this downtrending resistance that we failed to break over 8.8. Now we're looking to hold at worst 8.19, 8.2 level. Otherwise, this bear flag is going to continue, and then we're going to go to the level I just spoke of. But this descending triangle, and this is what nobody wants to tell everybody. These patterns we're in, I've already talked about these for a very long time. Now we're at the bottom end of a descending triangle. And the big drop, if we can't break out of this and push the 10.6 level, you're going to come all the way back down in the probably the first to second quarter of this year, down to the 6.3 level, if not worse. And if this is creating the M-topping reversal or the head and shoulders pattern right here, this is where you start to have these massive breakdowns. So that's why it's very important, and that's why I said earlier you have to take control. Talked about how XRP was coming back down to the symmetrical triangle, and then we'd go from there. It did exactly that. Nobody can predict the news, but we can predict the news by what we see on the charts. That's what they don't tell you. The news is unpredictable. I say bullshit. The charts speak of news to come. The charts today I've been talking about the last several days, based on what we're at in the pattern, it'd be the perfect time for them to come out and drop the hammer. They didn't drop the hammer, folks. They just lit the match. The fuse is still being burned, which means while the fuse is being burned, anything can happen. But this is not a traditional market. This is not traditional volume to push you over. DGB is now back within that channel, and it needs to get back above 101. Otherwise, you got 0.87 and ultimately 0.802 underneath. And now we're getting very close to dumping here a little bit. We failed to push out of very major levels, and that can be very detrimental for the crypto markets. If you don't get anything out of this, but me being a hard ass, or me telling you something you would have never thought anybody would say, or you're hearing things for the first time, that I'm doing my job. Most people on YouTube and social media only care about the bottom line so they can make as much money as possible. They know they can make commissions telling you and sleazeballing these little shit coins and having you buy it on these specific exchanges that they only exist on. Why you'll hear somebody say, oh, don't subscribe or don't pay for my membership, but I'll give you my Telegram if you put $500 on my, I'll give you a link and you have to put $500 down, and then I'll give you my Telegram or my Discord. That's because for the lifetime of it, on that shitcoin website, they're going to make residuals off you. So yeah, of course they're going to give you a shit Discord or Telegram. I do things a little bit different around here. I showed you this uptrend as well. I said once this loses this, we're in some trouble, and that's exactly what happened. If you overextend this out, it rejected, and now we're turning down. We needed to stay above the parabolic uptrend. And then if you want to be like, oh, well, where is the next likely spot? If you don't know anything else about the charts, or if you don't know anything about the levels, which we'll go to after, your next logical rejection down would be way down here on the normal uptrend that was created. Not the parabolic, but the uptrend that was created around probably January 10th, if I had to guess. I have no idea because it went back just a little bit. A little bit farther. January 6th, so around that time period. And then you'd come down to the uptrend. Now, knowing what we know, we can go to the Bitcoin US, and here's our first support. How convenient that it would have hit right there at 20,413 to figure this out, folks. I mean, when you understand the charts, you can understand the levels, and then people say, well, they're just random numbers. Are they? What a random spot to have 20,413 sitting there for the last year. Past parts of the pattern, folks. Pivot levels. That's a major pivot. If you hold that, this is nothing more than a fake out, and you continue this rise up and ultimately push this 23,000 rejection that I've been talking about. If you push below that pivot level, that means you failed the cup and handle, and then look out below. I very strategically do things, and if you follow along, you're going to be one step ahead. That 20,955 was a very key level for me as well. Yes, like I said before, I could put it to 21,300. But until we hold 20,955, I don't care how high it goes up. It's a fake wick. That's just my opinion. You don't have to trade like me. You have to respect what I do because I come here every single day and I haven't missed a day in 23 months. No matter what. No matter what. Hit that motherfucking like button. Consider joining Tom's Army. And if you want to join me on my exchanges and in the Telegram, you can click on my spot trading. Because I don't do futures. I refuse to do it now. After I had my epiphany. My spot trading link is in there. I'm not going to share it to everybody. If you're in Tom's Army, you can certainly click on it. There are exceptions in the USA on BitGet if you're a new user, so be aware of that. If you're already a user or not in the USA, and your country is allowed, which most of my audience is outside the USA, feel free to get on the Telegram. Click on the link for my BitGet. I created a spot trading group as well for just us in the spot trading. And we've already got 69 members. It's been a lot of fun in here already. And it's been real fun because this is where you're going to find my home. I've been very active in here. And I've shown everybody what I own. And then, why did I put 0.16? It's supposed to be 0.016. Whoops. See? I'm in here with everybody, and now I can edit this. Oopsies. People are probably like, oh my god. But yeah, so I have what I have right now and what I staked on Uphold. And I'm testing the waters, folks. So if you're part of the Telegram, you can also be part of the spot trading, and it'll show you how to get into the spot trading, so you can follow my trades. There won't be one done until we get to the bottom, obviously, unless some of the coins hit my spots first. But I'm trying to do an all-inclusive thing here. So all I ask is you join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month. Subscribe to my channel. Turn that bell notification to all. Hit that motherfucking like button because that's the easiest way to put me through the analytics. Comment and call me an asshole or say you like me. I don't really give two shits which way. Just comment. And my goal is to get to 20. Yes, my goal is to get, by the end of the year, it's never going to happen, but my goal is to hit a real streak here and hit at least 17,500 subscribers by the end of the year and 300 members in Tom's Army. It's going to be very difficult to do either one because we're in a very weak moment in the economy. But I believe in time, my channel is going to explode to a level never seen before because of the trust, the truth, and the fact that I can have a proven history over 2 years where every single day I get it right and I show you exactly what to do. In the end, we're very weak apart as individuals, but we're very, very strong, very wise, and we're very knowledgeable together. That's why I always say hashtag be better, do better, hashtag fight assassins, and remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, what the hell is the point? And I truly believe that. Because if we're up at the mountaintop by ourselves, watching all of fellow humanity, for me especially, suffer, there's no winning in that for me. I was one of the suffering humanity. I barely made it out myself. In this next journey, me, you, and anyone else who believes, we're going to be on the top of the mountain, but not alone, amongst our peers, like it should be.